like that music. I will sit and groove to that, so have to make it a point to get it out of here. Let's go ahead and kill that song, because God, I like that song. Whenever I hear that song, it means what I am doing something I enjoy.
I'm saying, can we?
Yeah,
I'm making sure we can
I
talk.
like.
He's trying to make sure we are on punishment anymore.
Yes, you are no longer on punishment. You
I
are
felt like a 5-year-old sitting over just watching
like
all the
mute.
adults.
Yes, but no, there's a little thing, like if I mute and then I click ask to unmute, like at that point, does it not tell you that you can unmute?
I was actually paying attention to something else,
Oh,
so
okay.
I apologize.
So
I'm
not
not
my fault is what you're saying. Not my fault. Okay.
I'm not going to say it was or it was not. I'm just going to say if you did it, I didn't see it, but I'm not going to say I believe you did it.
There were faults out there to be had. Maybe they belong to me. Maybe they don't.
Well, how about we just say what I was concentrating on was more important than you?
I accept that.
Okay.
I accept that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening, morning, noon, night, whenever you're watching this, or coming soon, wherever you might be listening to this. Stay tuned for details on that. But we are here today doing another one of our top 5 picks. Love the admin picks, love the top 5 series. Get to go through some great movies. So if you don't have anything to watch and you're like, man, what's a good movie I can watch? You need to be going through the top 5 series. Get some of these picks. I got like a whole horror selection. I got 2 pages of horror to watch. I don't know how I'm going to get through that, but Tony's
and you have more coming.
I know. I know.
My next ones is going to be like, wait a minute, I don't know about that one.
You know what? There was some stuff in animation. We had some great drama. We've had a great series so far. We did, what was the one we did just the other day? Just
Sci-fi.
that quick.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi that was a good list, and I liked everything that was on that list. So we can definitely enjoy that. Today we are back doing action, top 5 action,
and I know we're gonna have some of the same picks.
For sure.
Like I really feel like it. You know what? It depends on what decade you are in, Tony. That will really tell me how close, because a lot of my alternates.
I'm telling you now, my first one that I come out with, you're gonna be like, wow, because it's arguably one of the greatest ever.
I can't wait. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I know. One day we got to get together, and you know what we got to do? Like maybe when we get to I can't really say the end of the top 5 series, because all we're going to do is keep thinking of different genres and subcategories that we can continue to do top 5.
Yeah, I was going to say
we did with action. We were going through action, trying to figure it out, and all of us agreed that we could just do a whole top 5 on martial arts, and that by itself, that's another top 5 category that we can mark down and be like, you know what, we probably need to cover that. So there you go. But tonight we are just doing action. So if you got martial arts, you got martial arts, because I got martial arts on my list. I will have a whole other list when we get to the martial arts list. But today's list is not being altered except for the handful of second picks that I have to put on the list.
I'm gonna take all my martial arts off.
See, that's I got to hand it to him. Like, I thought I was a movie person, and I sat down with these two, and like these are my people, you know, because like just all day we talk movies. It's fantastic.
Yep.
So tonight, Dunesia, it is on you. We are gonna let you start. So ladies first.
Yay! My first pick, 2014. It was 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, but 81 audience score. I was surprised by that.
Know what it is?
Holy headshots, Batman. John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know.
I knew that was coming.
Anybody killing people over a puppy, you've got me.
First of all, it wasn't just a puppy. The puppy was a memory of his wife.
I know
That's
it was
what
just, it was very symbolic, but still, the puppy took him over the edge.
I'm telling you, I would do the same thing. I might not be as good as him and might not have a high body count, but I'm gonna get some people. I might have to call in some folks.
Now, I would also like to point out that the puppy was like, don't forget they stole his car,
Which was a great car.
and that was his car. Like that. If I'm not mistaken, there was some significance to that car as well. But
Yeah, they opened that up in the second one. Why?
right, like
The car was so significant. Yeah.
Since we only said John Wick 1 and not the John Wick series, that good call though. But yeah, that's a fantastic movie. Like,
I mean, just
and we're talking no cutaways, continuous shots, a lot of headshots. Love it.
And the way they did this made it actually more believable when you see somebody actually out going and doing this type of killing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the quick pop pop pop. It was okay. We're gonna calculate and we're gonna do this. And to have him actually take hits, because most of the time the heroes don't take hits, but he was taking some hits and he was having problems with some people, and so it made this movie a lot more believable.
And there again, when you get more into the series, some of it starts to make a little bit more sense here and there.
Right.
The initial bits that they gave us it was adrenaline. Baba Yaga came back, and if they had just left him alone, it might have been different. But you know what I'm saying? It's like
just the fear in his name that you saw in people. They were like, what?
You talk about put some respect on his name. Like, people say Wick, and it's just like, ooh, you could feel the shivers running down their spine.
It's like, whose car is this? Get
it out of my shop.
Get it
I
out.
don't want it out.
Don't want it. So yeah, that was a great pick.
So yeah, definitely. We only had to spend no time on it. If you hadn't seen John Wick, like,
then you don't deserve to be watching movies. You should.
You know what? If you have not seen John Wick, do yourself a favor, pause this, and then come back after you've watched John Wick so you can finish this list. I feel like the bar is kind of set, and you need to at least have seen that movie to enjoy and appreciate the rest of the list.
It's one of those movies that fit Keanu perfectly because he doesn't need to act; he just needs a lot of action. Mm-hmm. So it fits him perfectly.
I have something. We'll let it go to the end. It'll be a cutaway. I'll make my little note. I'm gonna moderate us tonight, so I'm gonna do right, and I'm not gonna ramble. That was a great pick. Is there anything else you want to add to your movie, Dunesia?
No.
All right, Tony. Let me get your number. Let me get your first pick. Round one. What you got?
Oh, you want mine? Okay. Well, mine is arguably, in my opinion, one of the greatest.
Don't say arguably, in my opinion. Is it the greatest, or is it your opinion?
In my opinion, it is the greatest.
Okay.
The greatest. It has a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 94 audience score. And it has Marlon Brando, Martin Sheen, Robert Duvall, Frederick Forrest, Lawrence Fishburne, Dennis Hopper, Harrison Ford. It is Apocalypse Now. When we say action from top to bottom, from beginning to end, this is the movie. It is set in Vietnam in 1970, and it shows. If you have anybody that's been in the military, not just military, but if you know any combat vets, and you see how they struggle to come back to civilian life, watch this movie and you will see why. This movie shows exactly what the military goes through every time they set foot on foreign soil and has to fight somebody. What? Go ahead. I'm done. That's all I need to say about it.
I mean,
it's great.
You know what?
You can't argue it.
The cast alone holds up.
It was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who also had a small part in the movie. Very small part.
Really?
Very small.
I think that might be the part that I was not aware.
He's one of the extras.
Names,
he's one of the extras that was back there getting shot up.
Okay,
No.
okay.
No, it was like you would if you didn't look for him, you wouldn't see him.
Now this was the where does this fall in Brando's cinematic timeline? Is this one of his later movies?
I think this is one of the early ones.
Okay.
No, hold on.
Because Marlon Brando, just as an actor himself, like a lot of the people that you named in that list, in that cast, a
We're all
lot of them
young.
went on to do a lot of action movies. One of the first names that came to mind as you were going down the list, Harrison Ford,
Oh yeah.
who in his own right is arguably a unique action star. You know what I'm saying?
He's
Because
lazy though.
like he's legit. Like you have some people that are like the everyman hero, and then you have like the regular guy hero, and Harrison Ford kind of falls in that regular guy hero
Mm.
category, but surprisingly large number of action movies.
Okay, Marlon Brando. This was like middle to end
Okay, okay.
because it
I
was in
was like, I
'79.
don't
It
think this
was
is his last movie.
nah. It was
That's like
after
the
his Superman. It came out after Superman and The Godfather.
okay,
So it was after all those. But he had 20 more after that. I'm looking,
okay.
but of course that's when he got older.
Mm.
Right, but see, he has a long career too, so
Yeah, his career started
it's
in
almost like if he only has
1950.
20 movies after that, that's the last third. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
Mhm.
started in 1950,
yeah.
and
Which
See,
is so funny because he was so hard to work with. Like you hear how hard he was to work with.
right, and
So
it's like, and
that's
yet
the
he's in all these
talent.
movies. Like,
I
Yeah.
mean, when you got talent, people overlook.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
this is true. Okay, well, we got.
any anything
So
you want to
since
say
we
about
just
that?
set
I
the
mean,
bar tonight with these great picks, let me not disappoint.
I told you I was coming for you
Um,
with that first one.
I think one of my movies is safe, so I'm going to save it for a little bit later. I don't want to pull out my big guns. Usually, I would hit you with my big guns. I'm gonna hit you with the shotty right here. This movie introduced me to this actor. I was in 1995. I called myself having watched a lot of movies. And I was already getting into, starting to learn who actors and actresses were, sticking with it, being, knowing directors and that kind of thing. And then I heard about this one action star. Because the trailer for this thing, they hyped it up so big that this guy does all his own stunts.
Yep.
He's a megastar in China,
Hmm.
but he's only a movie star here.
Hmm.
Rumble in the Bronx.
That's a good pick.
Let me
I
tell
like
you
that one.
something.
I like that one.
Man, after I saw that movie, I was at Blockbuster like, I need anything and everything that Jackie Chan has ever thought about doing. If his name is anywhere near the movie, I want to see that movie. And since we got a whole martial arts list coming, I'm going to save
Mhm.
it. But man, just this movie by itself. Guy comes from China just to help his uncle, and actually it was Uncle Bill, and that actor is in like all of these other like kung fu movies, and that's kind of great because that's Bill Tung and Anita Mui.
Hmm.
If did I say that correct? She's like the other. She's in like all the other kung fu movies, and like apparently works for Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung because she's in like everything that he does. But the uncle has this grocery store in the Bronx, and this biker gang comes in. They mess up the store, and of course they've been doing like finally the aunt she's had, and she's gonna stand up to the biker gang, and he just walks over real cool the way Jackie does, and like he speaks English, but it's so heavily accented that you're like,
Mhm.
get out of here, like move nerd, bruh. That fight scene insane. then when the biker gang decides they're going to come and get revenge, they get the drop on him. They don't beat him, no. Man, high intense action sequences, some of the best fight choreography you're going to find in a movie. Rumble in the Bronx. That is actually my number 2 on the list. Not even my favorite, but is right there.
I mean, just the fact if you watch what he does, and that the fact that he can usually get those scenes in 2 to 3 takes is amazing in itself. I mean, the injuries that this man has had, and that he still can perform is ridiculous. It makes me feel bad when I start complaining about how my knees feel when it rains.
I mean, I'll go into some of those later because he's definitely going to make the cut on one of the other ones, and so. But yeah, for me, round 1, Rumble in the Bronx. Jackie Chan.
Me and D came out with some
and
hitters,
that
so.
one, surprisingly enough, only got a 65 audience score. It got an 80 on the tomato meter, but only a 65. And I can't for the life of me understand how or why. But, art is subjective, I guess. But a fantastic movie nonetheless. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Rumble in the Bronx. And John Wick and Apocalypse Now. Some great first round picks. All right, Dunesia, we are back to you. Round 2. Okay. What you got?
Round 2. 2003. 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, 81% audience score, directed by Quentin Tarantino. I mean, badass women. That's all I can. Kill Bill 1 and 2.
And because it's so closely, I'm gonna give you both of those as one. I'm good with that.
It has to be one.
I mean, technically, it was one movie.
It is one movie.
It's one movie in 2 parts. I will allow that. That is, I'm with you.
Because it's called Kill Bill. You don't get to that second movie. But just phenomenal women being badasses.
Look, she shouldn't have won some of them fights, though. I'm just saying.
She shouldn't have won?
She shouldn't have won some of them fights.
It don't matter.
Whatever. Like her fighting all them Asians, she should have got beat down in that. I'm sorry.
Crazy 88.
She should have lost that fight. Yeah.
Actually,
come on now.
I wanted to see a little bit more with Go-Go. That whole sequence itself.
I was disappointed by that.
Yeah.
And I am like, I have like such a huge crush on Lucy Liu. I was so, my feelings was hurt. Vivica, I don't know, like that little sequence, and of course,
you blinking, you missed that.
I don't even know why Vivica scene was in there. It was like, and then your daughter come in, and you're like, oh, how you doing? No, play.
Now I will say one thing that I really do like about that, and there's been like a couple of different fan petitions, and honestly, I think they should really keep it going because it's apparent that if the fans cry about something long enough, somebody will make a move on it. But get like get Zendaya to play the older version of the daughter.
That would be good.
And have her come back, kill the bride.
Yeah.
Kill the Bride, Volume 3.
But yeah, Kill Bill. There was some good wiggle your big toe. Yep. There's so much in that movie that's memorable, and the 5-finger death punch. You finally got to see that in a movie. I like that movie.
We'll talk
Even
about that.
Daryl Hannah telling Bud, that her greatest regret was that she thought that he had killed Beatrice, or the bride. And I'm like, oh God, it's such a great movie.
All right, come back.
All right, we got it there. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Coming out real strong.
And it was a love story.
In the end. Because it was all about Kiddo and her daughter.
Yeah.
And a little revenge in there. And just righting wrongs.
A little?
Yes, because it was just righting wrongs.
How many people did she kill for revenge? That was a little.
Well, I mean, you murder me on my wedding day,
Technically,
take
It was
my
wedding
unborn
rehearsal.
child.
she
I
wasn't
feel like
murdered.
she was generous. She
She
was
wasn't murdered.
polite.
She
Because we
wasn't
saw what
murdered.
John Wick did with about a dog.
She
So
wasn't. First of
she was
all,
nice.
she wasn't murdered. She was
Oh,
in a.
you know what? I think all
She was
mine
in
are
a
like
coma.
revenge movies.
No, they thought she was dead. Because if they had known she was in a coma, they'd have came for her.
Exactly. They thought she was
Well,
dead.
no, he
So
did. Remember, Bill knew because Hannah went to the hospital and
yeah,
he
Bill
said
knew
if
she
she
was.
wakes up, she deserves her revenge if she wakes up.
Actually, I remember Bud was like, that girl, she
We all
deserves her
deserve to
revenge.
die. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, we could do Tarantino movies all night, and we could definitely stick on Kill Bill 1 and 2. Tony, you gave us Apocalypse Now. What do you got for us next?
Well, since somebody wanted to stay with revenge movies, I'm gonna stay with war movies and veterans. I'm gonna go to 1982. 95 on Rotten Tomatoes, 85 audience score. Had Brian Dennehy, Richard Crenna, and Sly Stallone. It's Rambo: First Blood.
I
The
knew
first.
one of you was gonna have Rambo.
You knew I was gonna have it. Come on, come on now. This kind of falls right behind Apocalypse Now. It shows the veterans when they come back, main side, and basically it's how they're treated by Americans when they come back. And I can attest to that because I saw my cousin go through it. He did 2 tours in Kuwait and a tour in Somalia, and he basically went through the same thing that John Rambo went through. I mean, he wasn't as crazy and as skilled at killing people as Rambo was because he showed you everything that he learned over there can be applied here and it can be just as effective.
Yeah.
Which is what I was enjoying. I was on his side. I was like, man, wear him fuck out. Do it.
I mean, when watching First Blood, and he's in like the mountain wilderness and everything, and they call in Troutman, and he's talking to him, and he's like, basically he's telling the sheriff that he's the guy. If anybody's going to be able to talk him down, it'll be me.
Yep.
And if I can't reach him, then everybody's dead. Because you put him in the perfect environment. And he's out there in the woods. He done skinned that deer, made the little poncho and everything. And it's like
got him a warthog. He was eating good. Wasn't messing with nobody. He just stayed out there forever. He could have.
So yeah, and you know what? That isn't. Stallone did a good job of making like such memorable, iconic characters that they have truly like held up.
Yeah, this movie has held up during the time. It has. You can watch it right now and still be like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, like the only thing that would make it look dated would probably be the way it was shot, like the film that was used.
Well, the explosions maybe, but it wasn't a lot of those.
You know what? It would just be a lower budget film. That's all it would be.
It would be a Tarantino film.
Right. It would be a lower budget. Like they were going. It would be who was it? James Cameron. He's gonna find like a special film to record it on, or
right.
Like Christopher Nolan. I want to add the grain into the film. Something like that. So, yeah, First Blood, the original John Rambo movie, First Blood,
not
1982.
Not First Blood. The Search for the Bedpan. Not that one. The original one where he was walking around jacking up everybody.
So, and see, and that's funny because that's something people miss a lot of times. First Blood is the name of the movie. Yep. Rambo is part 2.
Yep.
Rambo is First Blood part 2. And then they go right to Rambo 3, which technically should only be Rambo 2 because Rambo was First Blood part 2. Anyway, it gets, so.
Kind of like Xbox naming their game system.
Right, like you messed it up. But you know what? Fast and the Furious did it too, so you could blame them. We're gonna blame them. We're gonna leave Xbox alone.
We're not gonna bring them up. Let's not bring them up.
We're gonna pick on Fast because what's the next one? Fast X. That's where we got to be. FX. The new movie just gonna be FX.
Astronaut Fast and Furious.
Right, FX, because that was when they sent
I'm not
Jason to
interested.
space as well, right?
I'm not.
Friday
Please
the
don't
13th,
mention
part
that.
10.
Don't mention Jason X. Don't
Right,
do it.
but see, so it was
I made the
Jason X
mistake of
versus
I
God.
Fast
made the
X.
mistake of watching it, and my OCD would not let me stop it because I had to see what happened.
Nothing.
And then when we
That's
got to
what
the
happened.
when we got to the nanites, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still watching this. Somebody's just power go out, something. Somebody help me. Okay, we're doing it again. Stop it, Gerard. Stop it.
No, you good. It gave me that little bit of second I needed to get my screen right. Okay, so round 2. This is the one I started to open with, but I wanted to kind of keep it there.
Let's
This
have it.
is in my top 5 all time. This is without a doubt one of my favorite movies ever. You all know I'm a big fan of Way of the Gun, Usual Suspects. Those are top 2. This is the 3rd movie on my top 5 overall. If you've been watching the series, I've included one movie for my top 5 from anyway. See, that's going to be the trivia at the end. We're going to be like, name all my number 1 picks. All right, so this one, 100% tomato meter.
Which means it was bad because we know how they rate stuff.
92% audience score.
Not bad.
It is good. Jet Li.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Okay,
Yep,
so it's I ain't just making that up. Jet Li playing Chen Zhen, and he is fighting against General Vegeta in Fist of Legend.
Yep.
I
Here you
know
go,
you've
these
heard me
martial
talk
art.
about this movie. I know you've heard me talk about this movie. I love this movie. When we were doing, I want to say it was in when we did our fight scenes in one of our Zoom calls. We were talking about some of the best fight scenes, and everybody was posting links in the because that was a live call. So you can go back and you can find it there. I posted one of the fight scenes in that discussion. So if you go to the Facebook page and you can find us and our YouTube QR code is right here on the screen. It is that one there. That takes you right to the YouTube page. Or you can actually find it on Facebook if you scan that QR code over there. For those of you who are listening and not watching this, you can find our YouTube channel on YouTube at Grown A Geeks. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Grown A Geeks. But this was one of our live Zoom calls. We were talking about greatest fight scenes and some of the best action sequences and whatnot. And of course, John Wick got mentioned then. We didn't bring up Apocalypse Now, and we should have had more war movies. But yeah, I mentioned it then. This has some of the best fight choreography, even above Rumble in the Bronx, because Jackie Chan has that unique fighting style where he gets to incorporate everything that's around him.
Yeah.
It's like
Jet
it's
Li
a
is
very
cold.
spatial awareness type fighting. Jet Li is just like, I'm here, you're there, we going at it, catch these hands. And all of these feet and more of these hands. Because that man is like ridiculously fast. And Fist of Legend, man, love that movie. Just action, action, action. And it actually has a pretty decent plot to go with it too. So, and that's one of those movies where I was just saying, like, young masters come back home. Like, yeah. So if you've not seen that, please, please, please go check that out. Fist of Legend.
Yeah, I like that. You're gonna stay away from these martial art movies though.
I got those 2 out. I can move on now.
Okay. You could have kept those because we weren't gonna pick them.
True. But they're in my top 5 action.
I hope one of us takes one of your other movies.
I mean,
it would be you probably more than me.
You came really close with First Blood. I give you that.
I know.
Really close. Yeah. You may still hit it. We'll see.
No, because I'm gonna go a different route.
Okay. I mean, if you stick with your theme, I'm safe. Dunesia. Round three.
Okay, here we go. This actually came out in 2019. So on Netflix.
Not on my list.
36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No way, that got
You
that.
always come with the.
I don't care. I do
Nope.
not
If
care.
it's what I think it is, then
The opening scene in this alone,
Let her talk.
60% audience score though. Directed by Michael Bay. It's called Six Underground.
That opening
With
scene was
Ryan
a
Reynolds.
beast. That opening scene was a beast. It was.
yeah.
I mean, I literally the whole opening scene with Dave Franco driving, mouth open the whole time.
I want to say he drives better than everybody in Fast and Furious. Every
Right?
single person. Everybody.
I mean, he might fall right up like Dave Franco really impressed me with that because he's right up under, like he's probably fourth or fifth getaway driver. I would definitely call like Jason Statham first. Like that would be my first call. And if he
Yeah, 'cause
wasn't available, give me
Transport was
Baby
there.
Driver. And if he's not available, then I just want Driver, Ryan Gosling.
Gosling. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then after that, give me Nicolas Cage. And then I'll take Dave Franco. Like, but he's up there. He made that list because he drove his ass off in that.
I mean,
It was
seriously.
like the movie opened with that scene, and then you have the end scene on the boat.
Oh,
Yo,
in
that
the
boat
towers,
sequence with the
in the
magnets.
towers, in the
I love
towers
that.
with the mask and everything. Come on now.
You really know what killed that was the sniper character.
Yeah.
He was why that movie didn't do as well. Because all of the other characters, much like you know what? I'm gonna put a star by that. I'll recap it at the end so I don't pull because there's another movie I have to reference to explain how you can do that and do it right.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So I'm just gonna put a star next to Six Underground, and that you know, I saw Michael Bay, I saw Ryan Reynolds. I was like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's the only reason when I
watch
saw
it.
Ryan Reynolds, I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" And then
And
I watched
it was Michael Bay being Michael Bay, but not so much. Not so
It's like
much.
somebody
Everything
leaned over and
exploded.
was like, "Hey, don't do that."
Yeah, just cut it down just a little bit. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds is the same in every movie, and I appreciate that. It's humor. I
Yes.
love it. But I mean, just a great action film for sure.
Six Underground available on
That's a solid.
Netflix. That was a Netflix exclusive. Like that's their movie.
Mm-hmm.
that's their own movie. Yeah,
Yep. He did it. Okay. Yeah.
stop it.
Okay, got it. So Tony, round 3.
Okay, I'm gonna throw y'all for a loop. Came out in 1995. 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. 94 audience score. We've had an argument in the group about this because people are always saying it's the greatest Christmas movie of all time. And I'm arguing that it is not a Christmas movie. I said it. And it's Die Hard with a Vengeance. Bruce Willis.
Blasphemy.
I said what I said.
Wait.
Die Hard. The name is Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's the name of the movie. It's not Die Hard. It's Die Hard with a Vengeance. I think. I might be wrong. No, I think it's just Die Hard. It was so many of them.
Okay, I'm gonna let you off the hook with that statement. Cause
You know it was. It was like six or seven of them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
here's the thing: Die Hard with a Vengeance is a movie.
Which is garbage. This one was 88. That's what I'm thinking about.
So
It's still not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is the sequel.
Which
That's
was worse.
that's number 3.
See, here we go again. No.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. That's not the one I want.
Okay.
But it's still not a Christmas movie.
You want Nakatomi Plaza.
Yes, with Alan Rickman.
Ooh, Alan Rickman.
But it's still not a Christmas movie.
It meets all the requirements, but we won't get into Christmas movie parts. So tell me more.
Unless they
about-
kill Santa Claus. That is not a Christmas movie. I'm sorry. Carrot, what you saying?
Tell me more about what puts this movie on your list as a top five overall. Since it's not the
Just
greatest Christmas movie, what was it about
it's
this
not. It's a
movie?
great action movie. The action alone, him just in there blowing up things. Gotta watch myself because I got little baby ears over there. But just the action alone, him fighting and blowing up things. Come on now.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
he was at a.
I look,
He was fighting his wife. Him and his wife was having problems.
look, it was on my list.
I know it was.
It was definitely on my list. So it's not like I need you to explain it to me. And truthfully, because you pulled Die Hard and you pulled the greatest Christmas movie, fine. We'll just let it be. I'm gonna substitute it with the second greatest Christmas movie when it's my turn. Oh wait, is it my turn? So if you don't think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
Oh,
what's your
don't do
feelings
it.
on?
Don't do it. Don't do
Oh,
it. Don't do it.
wait a minute. Let me. You don't want me to do it. You don't want me to go there?
Because that was my next movie.
Oh no, see, because you had a choice. You was only getting one of them two.
I know. I know.
And see, and the
I know.
thing is, are you getting too old for this shit?
I know. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm going back in time. Damn y'all.
Cause see, that's an 81 tomato meter, 86 audience score. And if you don't think Die Hard is a great Christmas movie, I'm gonna give you Lethal Weapon as a great
Yep.
Christmas movie.
Let me go ahead and I had it right there. It was my
Yeah.
next one. You
I had those two written right next to each other. I said I'm only gonna get one. And even then there was a chance I could have missed it all together because if Denisha said Die Hard, you was getting Lethal Weapon, I was gonna be stuck without one.
but just some of my niche.
But
But just turn that. Let me go ahead and close that screen down.
and the thing that makes Lethal Weapon great, one of the main reason that I think it hits literally every checkbox as a movie for guys who like movies.
Yeah.
It hits every checkbox. You know what I'm saying? You have just a look like, and you know what? This movie's been out so long. If I am somehow spoiling this movie for you, shame on you. When they kidnap the man's daughter and they out in the desert, you know what I'm saying? Like the dad in you is gonna feel that. You know that
Yep.
pain.
And you
They
don't want to
have
be in
the,
there.
you know what I'm saying? Like they
Ow.
have, you know what I'm saying? Like I would sit, you know what, Tony? I would sit out in the desert with a sniper rifle
Mm-hmm.
just for that. You know what I'm saying? Just for that. And it's like you get Mel Gibson when we still liked him. Danny
Same
Glover
Memphis.
in a role that wasn't Mister.
Before he got his teeth capped and he talked like this thing all the time.
And it's like this is and it was such a good pairing. I mean, you've got comedy, you've got buddy cop, you've got plenty of action, and then of course the special forces. You've got it's a quotable movie. Like it is literally a fantastic movie and deserves a spot on anybody's top 10.
And
And tonight it made it on my top 5. Lethal Weapon.
now I gotta look for something else because you be had all these shenanigans going on.
I told you I struggled with this one. You know how many times I actually had to revise? And just a moment ago we was talking, I was like, ooh, nobody said that. You know what? I can put that on there. So, you know.
That's what happens.
And it's not like you going against scrubs who don't know movies. We we had a whole 10-minute discussion about movies that we should have added last when we did our last call. And we got right to the end and we was like, oh, I even sacrificed one of my movies to put a better movie on that I should have said in the first place. So of course, there's going to be moments. And I've got little stars and notes of things that I want to point about some of the movies we've talked about tonight. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe we won't. Either way, it's round 4. Denisha, back to you.
All right, this is the oldest movie on my list. 1988. 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 74 audience score. which I don't care. Jean-Claude Van Damme. I
Really?
cannot have an action list and not include him.
Yes, you can.
I mean, anybody could pick the Expendables and kind of cover the broad sense of characters.
But I didn't want to pick that. I could have. You're right. I
You
thought
should
about it.
have.
If
You
it was
should have.
only going to be for having actors on the list, but which Van Damme movie? Hopefully, the right Van Damme movie.
Hopefully, the only Van Damme movie that should be included.
It is Bloodsport.
Okay, we good.
Okay. Because if you
We
said
good.
in that other shit, like, what was that? Where he was on the island fighting? No, bruh. Where he was like Leo the Lion or
I
something.
gotta said Time Cop.
Oh, no.
No. The only acceptable alternatives:
Double Trouble,
Universal Soldier
Cyborg.
and Cyborg. Like those are the only acceptable
Yeah.
alternatives to Bloodsport.
But
Honorable
they're not.
mention for Time Cop because they got the whole time travel thing right.
No.
No.
It was trash.
That was a horrible movie.
That movie was hard. It had no redeeming
He
quality.
was in the kitchen doing splits. So
The Jean-Claude
you know.
mullet, come on.
He was cooking and splitting and what? No, bro.
That's a
not-
signature move. How many
It
times?
is a
Okay, you know what?
signature move.
for a top chef.
I'm putting a note.
When have you seen Gordon Ramsay do a split in the kitchen?
Hey. Now see, this is where I'm gonna hit you with that movie trivia. Because Mark Dacascos actually hosts Iron Chef.
I know this, but he don't hit splits either.
Oh, go back and watch.
Today's secret ingredient is
Nutsack. Ah! I'm sorry.
Ooh. Thank you for that. Thank you
I'm
for
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry. It's just
Because that just put like 2 more movies on the list, and I'm not sure
I'm
how I'm
gonna
gonna redo.
I'm gonna mute myself for like 2 seconds.
Damn, I ain't got but 2 slots left, and now I got to redo 4 movies.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, Bloodsport. That is
Okay. Big Bolo was in it
when he was still big.
when he was still
Mhm.
big.
That dude used to be like the villain in martial arts.
Everywhere.
Like if you
In
saw that
almost
dude,
all
you
of
just
them.
knew somebody was getting destroyed.
They ass was getting kicked repeatedly.
And you know what's funny? Anytime I see, I still quote that movie like regularly because anytime somebody's talking shit that I don't feel they can back up, I just tell them, "Brick don't hit back." Like, and they don't.
See?
And people don't get that reference all the time, and it pisses me off. That's when I
You can only-
realize I am truly a geek because, like,
You can
should've got that.
you can only say that to people our age. You be talking to these young kids. You can't be doing that.
Mhm.
You know, but if it gives me an opportunity to tell them a movie they should go watch because it's actually a pretty good damn movie, I really wonder if all of that is like real stuff with Frank Dukes because I understand that a lot of that was
It was alleged, so that means no.
glorified. But see, the thing is that was illegal underground fighting, so even if he did it, they can't talk about it. So
Fight Club.
that's the little loophole. But Frank Dukes,
All right.
like
Come back.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
back, Sam.
Come back.
Come back.
Jean
Come back,
Claude's
Sam.
accent in that movie, it kills me.
Come back,
All
Sam.
right, Tony, round 4. What
Oh.
you got, bro?
All right. I'm going back to 1997.
Okay.
A movie that actually shocked me that I didn't think was going to be as good as it actually was. Because I personally, as you know, do not like Nicolas Cage and his acting skills. But in this movie, he actually pulled it off because he had help with John Travolta,
Mhm.
and it is Face Off. I
I'm gonna take
mean,
his face off.
the acting, you could kind of overlook Nicolas Cage and his acting in this movie because Travolta is the guy that carries this.
Mhm.
I mean, for Travolta and Cage to switch roles about a third through the movie was, to me, very impressive because if you watched it at the beginning, you know, Travolta was the FBI guy. Cage was the bad guy. And they were acting like that. Then all of a sudden now Cage is trying to figure out, okay, ooh, now I can do
Castor
this.
Troy and
Right.
Pollux.
But I can't even lie, that name was kind of smooth though. I do like Castor
Oh
Mhm.
no,
Troy.
no, no, Castor Troy, and see, like, well,
Sean Archer was the
okay,
FBI
I'll
guy.
stop because that was a whole moment of movie trivia. Sorry,
Just stop it.
Castor and Pollux were twins in Greek mythology. Continue.
They were. But yes, it's I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It was a great movie. It's like they swap faces and now they're live. You got a
Which
criminal.
was funny because the thing about that movie was, especially with Nicolas Cage, considering that they switched faces, that's where a lot of Nicolas Cage was doing his acting, was in his face, in his eyes, the pain he was in, all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
A
Because see, he's more of a method
physical
actor.
acting had to happen for you to believe that they were the other person. And so it's just funny because they switched, who they were, but because of the things they did physically, you were able to really believe they had switched.
And then with Travolta, now having this man's wife, and he's acting like, how am I supposed to act around this person? And then she's starting to notice different things. And then, they had the little secret code thing, like slapping people in the face.
Their face.
Nah, she should have like, bah, motherfucker, me. That's all they should have been like. But
Oh, that moment where he told her they switched, and she's like, we've been living like husband and wife for like a couple
Right.
You could that was the one moment in that movie without question that you could see Nicolas Cage acting because he looks so hurt and disgusted by that statement. He's like, no, like that.
that's the culmination of his acting skills right there.
Yes,
That's it.
Because I don't know if any other movies that I actually like by they have him in it. Ooh, I know a new top 5 worst Nicolas Cage movies ever.
Oh God. I did 4 already.
like I was
That's
like,
what I'm
look,
saying.
I'm at 3, so I'm like,
Oh my
I don't
God.
think we could each have 5, but we could definitely
We
make
can
a
talk
list.
about 5 for sure.
Yeah, we
I
can
know
definitely make a list.
I know one definite is probably the worst one.
One of his is actually the worst movie I've ever seen before in my life.
What is that?
My life.
What is that?
Are we gonna talk about it now?
I want
I
to know.
mean, you got.
I'm interested.
Hold on, let me see. We good on time. Go ahead. What movie was this?
Bangkok Dangerous.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I went to the theater to see that.
Ooh.
Why would you ever go to see a Nick? I'm sorry. No, wait. Okay. I'm gonna throw mine into the mix. Sam, you get yours. Get yours ready. Because I have 2 that I can throw up against Bangkok Dangerous. It's either this one or this one. I think I'm gonna go with this one. And it's The Wicker Man.
Well, yeah.
That was the very first
the
movie that
thing
came
with
to
the
mind.
Wicker Man is it became like a cult classic type thing, and like
But-
funny.
But most
humorous.
bad acting movies are
Yes.
cult classic. That
Yes.
means that movie was bad.
There was nothing redeeming about Bangkok Dangerous. Nothing. It wasn't
Sam,
even funny. It wasn't
It
even
wasn't.
funny bad.
Sam, what's yours? Give me that one.
Horrible movie.
I mean, honestly, since you pulled, man,
I can give you another one that was on my
what's the
list.
vampire movie? God, it's all. Is it Twice Bitten?
Was that with
I don't think I've seen that.
Jim Carrey?
Okay, Jim Carrey's in Twice Bitten. He has Nick Cage has. Oh God, give me 2 seconds. I will give you the name of this movie. It's actually where the meme of Nicolas Cage doing the pointing. That's where that movie. It's that movie. It's where that comes from. He's actually like being bewitched by this
Hold on.
succubus, I guess, and Vampire Kiss, 1988.
Oh
Never
yes.
seen it, and I'm happy. I'm
Don't
happy
do it.
to have never seen it.
I would say
I
that
will
would
not
probably
watch
be
it.
worse.
Okay. So have you ever seen the Nick Cage meme?
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it came
That's
from.
the movie it comes from.
Okay.
Look, Nick Cage. That's the
Yeah.
movie it comes from. This whole movie is a meme. It's called Vampire's Kiss.
Vampire Kiss.
Jennifer Beals. 1988 me is like Jennifer Beals.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Conchita Alonso.
Ooh, boy, yeah.
We're 2 for 2. So yeah, I sat through the movie. I remember it.
But see, those are redeeming qualities of that movie.
Yes. Bangkok Dangerous has
It
none.
has
None.
none.
No
I
memes.
agree with you there.
Nothing.
Can we throw out?
We're not
Snake
gonna
Eyes.
get
Can we throw out Snake Eyes? I just want to ask.
Gary Sinise though.
Yeah,
I was about to say I could kind of redeem that movie.
I was like, but Gary Sinise, like
okay, that's gonna be a new topic. Worst
you,
Yeah.
you disliked him, but he was right, and I was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All right, enough on the Nicolas Cage.
back to the thing. Who's
Back
that?
to the thing. Back to the thing. All right.
Whose turn is it?
It
It's
would be
Sam.
mine because you
'Cause
said
I just
face
did
off.
Face
That
Off.
was your round 4, so it's on me.
And it threw us
for
into
my
a whole
round
new
4.
thing.
I'm gonna let you pick.
Number
And
3.
I feel like you're gonna lean more one way than the other. Killer or military?
Me?
I'm posting the question to the group.
I'm gonna follow whatever D says.
Okay, D, it's on you.
Well, of course, because we're talking about action. I want the killer.
All right.
I knew she was gonna say that.
I'm gonna just make it real simple then. 1994, Luc Besson. Leon the Professional.
Oh, Leon.
Yes.
Hey man. Jean Reno.
Mm-hmm.
By himself, that was the movie. Because he was such a weird hero-esque kind of guy. Like, when we talk about, like, anti-heroes, he's a professional hitman who takes on Natalie Portman after her family is murdered. And crooked cop, and I love it, Gary Oldman in one of like
He is so great.
I just want
He is
Gary
great.
Oldman and Luc Besson to just keep making movies together. Like that's all I want because I feel like he pulls out the best out of Gary Oldman because he kind of probably just lets him do some crazy shit and they record it and he's like, that's going in the movie. Man. Leon the Professional. That is like, and
That's
it's
a great
funny
movie.
because the movie has been released a couple of different times, and one time it was released on VHS. I was working at Blockbuster, so I remember this. It was released on VHS as just The Professional, and that's how it came to the U.S. as
Yeah,
just
that's what I remember.
The Professional.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came back out later and they did the Blu-ray special edition release, it was renamed Leon the Professional. Only bit of trivia I'm going to give you for that movie. The rest you got to check out for yourself. But excellent cast. Very simple but touching story. We see a very cold, calculating hitman become human and learn to live. Gary Oldman is Gary Oldman, and that is enough by itself. And a young Natalie Portman acted her ass off as the 12-year-old Matilda. So, Leon the Professional,
Solid.
my
I wish
number
you
4
would have
pick.
had that in episode
Solid.
1.
That's a solid pick.
It's a very solid pick.
Okay, D, what you got for your last?
Okay,
Final.
I went
Round
back
5,
and
final
forth.
round.
back and forth. It was really hard for me to narrow this list down. I do have to say that. But you guys actually mentioned this earlier, and so I guess I'll take that as a sign to be my last pick. So 2005, 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, 58% audience score. I do not care.
Transport.
What more can you ask for?
Oh, hell yeah. You know what? For a second, I thought...
I thought she was going to say Transformers.
I thought she said Transformers.
Absolutely not.
That's why there was the
not
delay.
Gonna be on my list.
No. I promise you. That's why there was a momentary delay because you was like, it's a 58.
Yeah,
I'm
care. Sorry.
Transformers.
I was Porter, like, Jason Statham.
Sam, did you see the hate that was on that face when you said Transformers?
Bro, did you see the confusion on my face when I thought she said Transformers?
I said it too.
No. I was like, I know she was just kind of hyping up Michael Bay a
sorry.
little bit. You know what?
Sorry.
She was trying to soften the blow when she said 6 Underground and was showing a little love to Michael Bay. That's what it was. See, she was getting us ready for that Transformers.
Absolutely.
It was Transformers: The Dark World. That one.
No.
You know what?
Yeah.
I like that movie so much that I shopped for that make and model BMW for about 3 years.
But it don't mean nothing if you don't have the skill to go along with it.
You know what? I just wanted to drive the fucking car. Okay, that's all that mattered.
You didn't have the bulletproof glass. You know.
Ain't nobody shooting at me. I just wanted to be in the same car that he like. Just watching what he did with that car, bruh. I was like, come on.
You just want to sit down and imagine. So that what you should have did was got in your work vehicle and use your imagination.
But yeah, talk about a great movie. The way it began, you know, with him picking up the people, he's like, "That's not what you said." So y'all gonna have to make a decision. Him going because I love his fighting style because he is like Jackie Chan, you know, kind of just using whatever's in the room. But just a phenomenal fighter. Great movie.
He got Billy with everybody. It did not matter. He was Billy Bad with everybody.
I would give that movie 9 stars without question. I got to take 1 star back. And that was for the fire hose fight. I got to take 1 star for that. Otherwise, I'm good with everything else. Literally everything else. Because they did cinematic cuts for the action sequence because my man was like, he was using it like it was a chain and kunai and was swinging it around and taking it through his leg and throwing it and hitting this dude in the face, but then pulling it back and no, you're not doing that with that water hose. Like, no.
Physics,
but
it doesn't work that way.
You know what I'm saying?
First of all, it's a movie. Physics don't apply,
and that's why I only took a star off and didn't like trash the movie, like because it's not it. It's still a great sequence, and even when the sequence ends and he's like throwing it around everywhere, and then he casually turns the water on and everybody gets thrown around the room. Okay, so you were building up to something. So you should have opened with that. I would have been okay with it. You almost made me dislike you, and then you did that, and it was funny, and it was cool. So, all right. Look at you doing stuff. Okay. Yeah, I love Transporter. The first one. I just want to specify.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about the rest. The second one wasn't bad. That third one?
Was the second one the little boy?
Yeah.
No, I have all problems with that.
That was the Audi, right?
It was. It was an Audi.
No, we don't.
That was the bomb on the bottom of the car.
Yeah, we don't like that one. That one is just.
But the scene with the girl in the dentist's office.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm not giving that movie a pass.
Who was the
it's a
little
step
psycho
above Crank
blonde that was using the chains on the wall to like swing across the room?
Like she was Tarzan? Nah, player. No. That whole sequence was beyond Intrepid. I want to say a word, but I don't want to get banned.
Okay. Oh, that was so funny. Just thinking about because like you can see that it was wire work, but it was so tacky and
You can't get them all right.
okay,
He
that's all
should have
right.
stopped with one.
Ah,
It's a step above Crank. I'm telling you, it was bad.
We will not talk about Craig ever.
we
The
will not
the
talk about Frank.
First of all, if you ever get need a little joke with, come
The
on now.
scene at the dog track. Oh my god, that whole movie. I was like, what? And then they made another one.
Right. First of all, if you ever got to keep your heart rate up like that, so you having sex in public and not getting arrested, I didn't know what city you in.
I just
'Cause
love
you
that he had the
around
cowboy
him.
hat at that exact moment.
That shit was ridiculous. That shit was
But you know what?
ridiculous.
Crank was at the height of Jason Statement's like the man could do no wrong at the time. And
No,
I'm
did
not gonna sit
wrong.
here and
that
front
was
like I ain't
wrong.
watched Crank 10 times. I've seen it 10 times. My boys loved that movie when they were kids. Like, and I had to kind of like edit what they could see. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is a good movie. We gonna watch it. Go ahead. You know what? This shit
He
is
like
funny.
jump off of a building.
I mean, it was just
It was more comedy than anything.
so hype. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
that movie was
God.
on 11.
Okay, we're back. Come back. Everybody come back.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I did it again. Come
No,
back.
it's all
Yeah,
right.
don't do
I
it.
mean, that was a good segue because that was all Jason Statham. So
Yeah.
Movie was
number
horrible.
5, last and final
All right,
pick. You
Tony.
only get one. How are we gonna close out, Tony? What you got?
Well, you know I'm gonna close out with a banger, like I always do.
What you got?
Mhm.
Let me have it.
I'm gonna go back to 1973, 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, 92 audience score. This was my first movie I saw by this actor slash martial artist, arguably the greatest one ever.
Mm-hmm.
Enter the Dragon.
Okay.
This movie, because the one reason I really, really like this movie is because one of my other favorite movies was a parody of this movie. And it damn near parodied the entire movie, and it was just great. But is Bruce Lee, arguably the greatest martial artist ever. I don't think we can argue that it's too many that possibly could have beat him. Maybe Ip Man could have beat him, who did train him. But it's basically about a martial artist who a lot of people remember him going to the island fight, but they don't know why he was there. He was there to help out to try to bring down the narcotics dealer who was involved with the death of his sister.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who was in there. Bolo.
Bolo Young.
He was there. So
He always had that one expression where he just like looked down his nose with those big eyes, and he do the little thumb thing across the neck.
and then he make his pecs
Right. You just.
go.
I mean, for the longest time, that was probably as a kid. I'm not gonna say that statement out loud. I'm gonna just leave that one in my head. But that dude was big.
Yeah, he was swole.
And like the only other thing, and for him to be as big as he was and like not be a sumo wrestler or something, it was like
Oh, he wasn't that big.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, it was like Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee, and that was the epitome of like that's a good fighter. That was, you know what I'm saying, the little experience I had with them. They all kind of looked like Bruce Lee, and all the martial artists that kind of had a similar. I think Sammo Hung was the only person who didn't look like Bruce Lee in all the kung fu flicks when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And then you got this giant of a man in Bolo Young, and it was just like mesmerizing. Like as a kid, I thought he was supposed to be in the Guinness Book or something. Like
Oh yeah, he was big.
he was bigger than he was larger than life. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, Hulk Hogan was like 7'1", you know what I'm saying? He was just a humongous person, and that's where I put Bolo Young. So anytime he was in anything, it was just like, oh, there he is, you know?
And your boy Jackie was in it too. Briefly.
Yeah.
He was in it briefly. He was one of them students that, Bruce punched in the face. So
Into the
All right,
Dragon.
I couldn't let you have a martial artist film and I didn't have one.
No, no,
I
that's fair.
I took it off and I was like, you know what? Nah, he named two. I need one.
That's fair. I can definitely understand, and that is probably one of the that is a definitive Bruce Lee pick.
I think that one actually, when it came, to the Western civilization, that one kind of put him over the top for everybody. I mean, he had his other ones, but I think Into the Dragon was the one that
Mhm.
everybody really started to take notice of.
When you do like that was a finishing move. When you knock the man down, you stand there, you leap into the air, both feet, and then like you stand there and you shake for like 10 seconds, looking bewildered and confused, only to like twist your foot at the end to make sure he's dead. Come on, man. They invented finishing moves, right? Mortal Kombat was born in that moment.
He is Liu Kang.
Yeah.
He he is Law. He is Liu Kang. He is the
Ryu.
like he's the
Any of
dragon,
the
baby. He's the dragon.
any of the Asian fighters in video games are usually modeled after Bruce Lee.
Rightfully so.
Okay.
All right, Sam, let's get your last one.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's my pick. It's
Do
my
it.
list.
Do it.
Ooh, baby, stick 'em, baby. I'm sorry, DJ came out.
So I like guns. Lots of guns. And I can't use the Matrix.
You cannot.
You cannot.
But there's this one little movie from 1995.
Hold on, who's in it? I might know this.
Oh, you know, the moment I say the name, you know it. There's this mariachi player
Oh, my dude, really?
who
Really?
this is a revenge tale.
Mm-hmm.
This is a love story.
I hate you so much.
This has Steve Buscemi. It's just a wacky role for the hell of it. And it's
Close
got
down.
the beautiful Salma Hayek.
Oh, let me tell you something. I impregnated her like 9 times when I was
Bruh.
young. 9 times.
Bruh. Don't talk about my baby moms like that.
First of all,
Anyway,
when she was in
moving
Dust
on.
Till Dawn,
Moving
bro,
on. Bucho. He's got to find Bucho. That damn Desperado was my
Guitar
shit.
case. Yeah.
Did not put this in one of our other movies about one of the greatest scenes.
That
With the bar.
movie is my shit. Let me tell you something. I love that movie.
That movie is great.
That's another movie. I quote a specific line and people just don't get it. When something's getting ready to pop off, not yet. It just like clears the whole fucking room. Dude comes in, he's just like, I'm just a guitar player. And you know what I'm saying? They're like, what? We've heard stories about Cheech Marin, so great in that movie. But he's like, hey, we've heard stories about a guitar player. Hey, what's in the case? And then they open it up. He's like,
He's like,
no, it's my
it's just a
guitar.
guitar. It's
And
my
then like
guitar.
everybody kind of looks away and he looks over and you see the little guitar, the little casing starting to flip up, and my man is loaded, armed to the fucking teeth. He got everything in this bitch. He got throwing knives and
Grenades. He got
grenades and
hand
guns
grenades.
and a damn
Yeah.
double barrel break.
He
barrel
got
shotgun.
tear
Like, he
gas.
is ready
Who
for
keeps
war.
tear gas?
He took out that whole bar.
There was about 20 people in there, I think.
And it was such a great cinematic action sequence. Even now, just thinking about it. You know what? When Salma Hayek is sitting there in the bed and she's playing the guitar and he's laying there and he kind of looks up and then he just calmly opens his eyes and you know some shit's about to pop off when the action hero star of the movie is laying there and he don't jump, he don't panic, he don't shake, he just open his eyes. Oh, the shit's gonna go down. So we see Antonio Banderas laying there chilling in the bed and he just kind of opens his eyes. He looks over to the left. My man pulls out big ass hand cannon. It was like a 6 or some shit. And then he looks over the other way. Somebody's walking to the right. The man reaches out. I mean, like, I don't even know where that shit came from. Fucking double barrel shotgun. And he's just like, you know what I'm saying? He's training on somebody to the left, training on somebody to the right, moving it. They keep walking closer. They meet in the middle, and Salma Hayek is right in front of him. He's got these guns pointed right at her damn face. And it's just like, oh shit, wait, what? He kicks her off the bed. Boom! My man reloads like stupid quick. And y'all finna make me watch this fucking movie tonight because I am so hyped about that shit right now. Desperado is such a great action flick. Exciting. Another one of those movies for guys who like movies. Desperado. That's my final pick for tonight.
It's a solid one.
Okay. We're going to do a quick recap because I really like that Will did that the other day, so I did a better job of paying attention and writing shit down tonight.
Good, because I didn't.
It's all good. Since I had to moderate and we saw what a good moderator does because I don't moderate well, so I had to learn how to moderate properly, and Will showed me that last night. So from now on, that's how the show got to go. Whoever's hosting got to do that. All right, Dunesia, her top 5 pick for the night on action was, in no particular order, we had John Wick, Kill Bill 1 and 2, 6 Underground, Bloodsport, and The Transporter. Tony came in, starting off with the old action war flick, Apocalypse Now, First Blood, the story of John Rambo. Then we had Die Hard coming in at number 3, Face Off, and Enter the Dragon. Had to have a good martial arts flick to close out. My personal list tonight, we started off with not one but 2 martial arts flicks. Rumble in the Bronx. Rumble in the Bronx, Jackie Chan.
So you had
we
another
had
drink?
Fist of Legend starring Jet Li. Lethal Weapon, since Tony wouldn't let me have my Die Hard. He didn't like a Christmas movie, so I had to make sure he had an action Christmas movie. That's what it's going to be. I said what I said. And number 4 was Leon the Professional. And rounding out my list tonight, Desperado, Antonio Banderas. Are there any honorable mentions you want to throw out there before we close, Dunesia? Any that you feel you really struggled with? They wanted to make the list, but just didn't make the cut.
Well, Equalizer.
Yeah.
Kingsman, for sure. And also, I was going back and forth about this one, but I love that movie, and it's Tombstone.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great sequences. But
okay, so there's another category.
Yeah. That's why I wanted it, but I couldn't just.
I'll write that down. Westerns.
Mm-hmm. We can do Westerns for sure.
And Westerns, just Western. That's the only qualification.
Mm-hmm.
That one I might have a problem with. Because I only know like 5 or 6.
You should be good then. You got a list. You can expand. And you know what? You give me your list, I'll make sure I don't pick those.
I'll make up a movie and I can make up a synopsis on it real quick.
Since you picked Hang 'em High, I got the sequel, Hang 'em Low.
That's right. It was about ranchers in Australia fighting kangaroos in the middle of the in the bushes.
But honestly, I think I would have been okay with all of those alternates you had there. No question that they were
solid.
Yeah, definitely solid.
The Equalizer was great because I think it showed you how just a person can have those skills and how that really works in the mind and all of that. And of course, King Love, because it's a new age spy movie, the parkour that's in it, and
just that church scene though.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you, every time
Colin Firth.
every time I saw him reach up for his watch, oh, 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 and it had that whole feel good story, like the reason he does what he does and whatnot. It does make a difference sometimes, even when you have action movies. If it's just blatant killing for the sake of killing, there's no point to it, and that's why they had to kill the dog in John Wick. You can't just be out here murdering folks for no reason. You got to have a reason, and if there's a good reason, then it kind of somehow oddly justifies what the person's doing. So
Right.
they managed to get away with a really good storyline on that. And I mean, hey, Denzel Washington. So it's funny you say that. I got something to add for that. Tony, any others that you wanted to throw on the list but just couldn't make the cut tonight?
Yeah, I had Taken with Liam Neeson. I
You
had
got Liam
300.
Neeson's. You got the
I
Liam
did.
Neeson's. Yo, that
I
take it dog, that take it dog, dog, that take it
Stop
dog.
it. Stop it. You're doing it.
Oh, Peel and Pete.
I had 300 and I had Inception.
Okay,
Those-
okay.
I don't know about Inception. I can accept.
No, and
No.
I struggle, but there's enough action in it.
Yeah, there is.
That is an action.
You know what?
movie.
Yeah.
There is
Okay.
enough action in it.
You know what? Y'all gonna stop questioning me about this. You do it every single time I say
We
something.
do.
You're like,
But because you like to toe the line. Don't act like you just be making it easy. You specifically toe the line, and that's why
No,
we have to like.
You want to know what towing the line
contemplate.
is? You want to know what towing the line is? I could have said Point Break, but I didn't. The old with Patrick Swayze Point
I
Break.
mean, Johnny Utah don't miss. I'm just saying.
That's towing the
Look.
line.
They jumped out of airplanes. They was
surfing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a cop drama.
And it had Keanu Reeves, so you was already kind of 2 points ahead right there.
But
And
yeah,
and
Keanu
you had
can't
Patrick
act.
Swayze.
the good Patrick Swayze.
Brody. You know what?
Oh, I should have put Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Now,
Movie of kicks.
here's you know what?
Oh,
I'm only
Sam
going to throw this on
Elliott.
just because it just came to mind. Since we like Liam Neeson's and we like Patrick Swayze, we're going to throw out that Next to Kin.
Oh. Talk about having something on VHS.
That was that joint right there. Like,
That
let
was
me
a
tell
good
you, my
movie.
man was sitting on top of the train just chilling. When I saw Taken for the first time, all I could think about was that's the same dude from Next to Kin. I could not take him seriously for the first half of the movie. And after my man made that phone call, okay, little brother done grown up. Let's see what he do with it. All right, because he was that dude in that movie. I've only got, like I really, really, really struggled. Of course, Die Hard was one of my selections. And just to make sure that I was covered, I went with Lethal Weapon. And
Beef.
just because I had to make sure that I had some selections there. But you picked out Rambo, and so of course I was curious. I wasn't sure if you were going to go there. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
I would actually take Predator over Commando.
See, and don't think there's reasons. I like the ensemble cast. Let me say that. I like the ensemble cast from Predators, but I like the action from Commando. Because some shit blew up and some people
lot.
got killed.
I mean, he did carry around trees in that movie.
You know what I'm saying? Like Commando, and if you can, you know what? When we talk about like the jump cuts, that last fight scene, when
You
they
don't
was
wanna shoot
down
me?
in the, like I don't even know what building they was in, but for some reason they was in like a boiler room or some shit. They was fighting.
It was
And-
the house. It was the basement of the house. Because remember,
Like,
he went to
what
go
house
get his
got a
daughter
boiler room like that? But they fighting.
a mansion.
All the little cut scenes they was doing for that little action sequence,
He said,
you
"Come
couldn't
on.
get away with that today.
Hey, you don't
Yeah.
want to shoot me? You don't want to shoot me? You want to stick the knife in me? Come on."
Come on, Bennett.
Come on, man.
He's like, you know what? You're right, John. I don't want to kill you.
Let's go. Come
Like
on,
that
man.
movie is so great, man. And
No, it's
like
not.
Ray
No,
Donovan
We
it's
should
not.
John
just
just
do
comes
videos of
flying
you
in
guys
like a
reenacting
stepmom
it.
with a plane at the end of the movie. Like, where the fuck you been the whole like last segment? And
That
oh, okay,
movie was
because
not
you
great.
landed the plane and he's kind of cute and he got a daughter. Like now you just ready-made family. Like wait, what?
I mean, the
What?
dad is a killer, and protection. She sees something in that, and he
Hey
can cook.
Matrix, we could use you back. We'd love for you to get your old team back together. No chance. Like it's so,
Wait
bruh.
a minute. First of
Every
all,
part of me
Predator,
loves that movie and hates
Predator,
that movie, and I
Predator,
love that internal conflict, and that's why that
Predator.
movie was gonna make my top five.
Predator, get to the chopper. Come on now,
Hmm.
get to the chopper.
I mean, no, come on, I'm right here. You want to kill me right here? You know, like everything Arnold did in like the '80s and '90s, bro, could have made my list. Last Action Hero, like
Raw
Schwarzenegger
deal,
was that dude, man. Like,
raw deal. Don't
man,
forget about raw deal with the
oh,
Belushis.
oof.
Yeah.
Him and Jim Belushi, that was a really good one. The only other movie that I had on my list that I really debated on, and I kind of struggled with it because at one point, when you heard me saying like I don't know, ooh, I thought of one. I actually added Desperado on and moved this one down, and I almost hate myself for it because Man on Fire was
Oh
Mm.
that shit.
yes. Hey man, that movie was so great. That movie was so great.
Like,
It was just like when it started,
yeah,
not
you know what I'm saying? And again, as we were kind of having a little bit of a theme there, I was noticing we had some revenge themes, we had some war movies, and you know what I'm saying? I felt like my Rumble in the Bronx kind of fit there. Fist of Legend was just a good action movie. Lethal Weapon definitely had some revenge elements. Leon the Professional had those revenge elements. Desperado had those revenge elements. Man on Fire had those revenge elements. Commando had those. Like, bruh,
yeah.
you want a good action movie? Go get you some revenge. And that sets the tone. And like I said, like I was saying a moment ago, as long as you can justify why you doing it, have at it.
Mhm.
Go for it. People love it. Six Underground. I have a little note here. Hitman's Bodyguard was another movie Ryan Reynolds did that was
What
Netflix
didn't go
produced.
right?
Yeah.
Netflix
Hmm.
directed and produced. Hitman's Bodyguard had Ryan Reynolds, Salma Hayek once again, and Sam Jackson.
Oh, Sam Jackson. Okay.
Fantastic movie, and probably could have swapped out with Six Underground. And now they are doing the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is the sequel that's coming out. Salma Hayek, if they ever decide to release movies again. So look for that one. There was
And I'll be
another.
there and she'll be pregnant again.
There was another note, but I did not. I did not mark where it was, so I don't remember what it was. But okay,
It's just how great I am.
you distracted me, and then I got to talking about Salma Hayek, so I can't remember. Anyway,
That's
that
not
is
as
our
bad.
list tonight, and we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed this. This is our top five action. We really, honestly, when I tell you everybody struggled, because like I promise you, everybody thought at least once about putting something like Raiders of the Lost Ark on their list or
No.
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. Well, shit, I thought about Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, but I just, as a whole, I didn't feel like they had enough action. When I was like 8, maybe, but now that I've seen John Wick and The Matrix, what's your body count, bro? If you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, truthfully, things like Extraction, Atomic Blonde, you know what I'm saying? Those are movies that were probably more likely to make the cut just because of what they've done. Oh, Old Guard, that's what it was. Six Underground. I'm sorry, I don't mean to come for your movie like this, but that was the thing. I was saying it was that one character in that movie, the sniper, who was the person that kind of threw that movie off. And you know who did that movie and did it right? Old Guard. When they brought that Marine chick in, that's how you bring in a new character who doesn't really know what's what and introduce them to the story. You let them struggle. You don't have them come in and suddenly they're going to be the heart of the whole team. Bitch, we don't know
Yeah.
you. We've been doing this together for a while. You knew. Stay your ass over there. Do what we asked you to do.
I
That's what
think
they
he still
did.
introduced it in a good way though, because he came in like, no, we have to humanize each other. We're not going to be robots. So I know what you're saying, but I think he came in to bring the human element to the story.
I mean, when you watch the movie, it makes sense, and I'm not taking it away and saying that that made it a bad movie. I am saying that is why the score wasn't higher.
Mm-hmm.
There were people who had trouble being able to connect to that element of the movie because you have so much action. You have that opening car scene, and that sets the tone. And then when you go through some of the other action sequences, you have this guy who's all like puppy dogs and roses and hearts and feels and shit. And we just saw somebody get their whole face splattered. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shit don't match. And that was where the issue was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just that character, not the actor. Like the actor did a great job, and even the character that is written in, his purpose is right, but it's just the way what that character brought to the story is where I think it kind of got thrown off. We see from Olgard, you could take somebody who doesn't really understand what's going on, and she can still be the reason that they are humanized a bit because she's not really feeling it at first, but she doesn't want this other person to die, so she accepts and embraces in order to save a life, kind of thing. Like there's another way to do it,
Yeah.
and I just feel like Six Underground missed it a little bit, but my man did some bang up shots, and I'm not going to take that away from him. It was still a phenomenal movie, so if you haven't seen it, you have Netflix. Shame on you. Check out Extraction too. It had a lot of great action sequences. It got trashed on all the ratings, but Chris Hemsworth is what I say in Zoolander. He's so hot right now. Like he's great. But we thank everybody for tuning into this show. Any last thoughts from anybody?
Nope.
All right. We're going to come back with another show. It looks like we've got at least 2 new categories in addition to the rest that were already on our list. So at some point in the future, you can probably find a martial arts top 5. I know we've got another horror top 5. We've just added westerns to our top 5.
We have guilty
And
pleasures.
we still have. Now, do we want to just go ahead and combine geek movie guilty pleasures into one category?
Yeah, I think we need to do that.
We can, yeah.
Because if we do geek movies, guilty pleasures, it kind of opens up the realm. You can, ain't no judgment. So
Mm-hmm.
you can throw in and get it out the way and get your movies in. And there's 2 movies that I figure somebody's going to say, so I'll be curious to see how that goes. But nonetheless, we are Grown A Geeks. I'm Sam. That was Tony. That's Dunesia. We appreciate you tuning in and spending some time with us and getting to find out about the movies we love and the movies you ought to check out. Make sure to subscribe and like so when all these videos get loaded, you can jump in and be the first one to check them out. We ask that you leave a couple comments. If you've got a top 5 of your own that you want to add to any one of the categories, just click on playlists, find that selection, and give us your list. Promise we will get back and talk about it on the next one. Thank you so much, and folks, you all have a great night, great day, great afternoon, or whenever you catch this video. Thanks. Bye.
Give me a shot.